what it does. AU Beyond MMA family. Listen, if you've been watching UFC for a long time, you already know how dangerous this topic is, because the second you say the words GOAT list, the comment section turns into a war zone. People start fighting like it's a title eliminator. Screenshots get taken, group chats start cooking, and somebody somewhere is already typing, "This is rage bait," before they even hear the first name. But that's exactly why I'm doing this video right now, because the year is coming to an end. 2025 gave us some huge moments that actually changed the way we have to talk about legacy, and I'm tired of doing the safe list that offends nobody. I'm here to give you my definitive UFC top 15 GOAT list as a 2025 update. Not most popular, not who I like, not who would win in a fantasy bracket. I'm talking overall greatness, resume, title runs, dominance, longevity, and the moments that define UFC history. And before you crash out, yes, your favorite fighter might be lower than you want, or not here at all, and yes, I'm ready to stand on it. And here's the hook for you. This list is going to make sense when you get to the top 5, because 2025 didn't just add a few names, it reshuffled the whole conversation. The sport is moving fast, records are getting touched, champions are stacking work, and when that happens, nostalgia can't save anybody, only achievements can. Alright, we're doing it the right way. We're going from 15 all the way to number 1, and I want you to listen to the full thing before you start swinging in the comments, because I'm going to explain every spot like I'm talking to a friend. And after I drop mine, you drop yours. Simple. Okay? Number 15. At number 15, I've got Israel Adesanya. And I know some of you are already saying, bro, what? 15 is disrespectful. And some of you are saying, bro, what? He shouldn't be on the list at all. That's why 15 is such a hard spot. It's that line where you're deciding if a guy is just a legend or a GOAT tier UFC legend. Here's why Izzy makes it for me. The middleweight division in the modern era is not a joke. The competition is deep, the styles are dangerous, and the pressure on champions is real because everybody wants to be the guy that knocks you off. Izzy became champion, went on a long run at the top, defended the belt multiple times, and he did it with a style that made people look lost. You can hate the point fighting complaints, you can hate some of the decisions, but you can't pretend the resume isn't real. He beat top contenders, he beat elite names, and he's one of the few guys who had that aura where every title fight felt like a major event. And the reason he's 15 and not higher is also simple. The second half of the story matters in a GOAT conversation. Losses stack up, eras change, and your dominance has to hold. Izzy's peak was legendary, but the all-time list is cruel. You can be incredible and still land at 15. Alright, number 14. At number 14, I've got Kamaru Usman. And I feel like Usman is one of the weirdest legacy cases because people talk about him like he's either top 5 or he's mid. There's no balance. And the truth is, Usman's prime run is one of the best runs we've ever seen at welterweight. Long win streak, champion, multiple title defenses, big names, big moments. He wasn't just winning, he was dominating, and he was doing it against real championship level guys. What makes Usman GOAT list worthy is that he didn't do the one lucky title win. He built a reign. He had that stretch where it felt like the division belonged to him, and he also has one of the most important things for legacy. He was fighting the best guys available at the time. That matters, because later on, when fans rewrite history, they act like everyone was a bum, and it's like, no, these were elite fighters, elite camps, elite pressure. Usman isn't higher because his reign ended and the story didn't stay perfect, but as a UFC all-time resume, he's in the conversation, and 14 feels right. Now, number 13. At number 13, I've got Anderson Silva, and yes, I can already hear the screaming. How is Anderson Silva 13? Listen, I'm not saying Anderson wasn't incredible. I'm not saying he isn't one of the greatest fighters ever. I'm saying the GOAT list is about the whole book, not just the first half. Because that first half, bro, it was like a myth. Long win streak, title defenses, highlight reel knockouts, the aura, the way people would walk into fights already beaten. Anderson had that final boss energy. He made champions look normal. He made contenders look like they didn't belong. And if you're talking pure dominance at middleweight, he's a pillar of UFC history. But the reason he's 13 is because he has a full career. The losses later on, the decline, the weird endings. A GOAT list is not just who peaked the highest. It's who built the strongest legacy overall. So I give Anderson his respect by keeping him on the list, but I'm not putting him in the top 5 in 2025 like it's 2012. I can't do it. Now number 12. At number 12, I've got Stipe Miocic. And heavyweights are always hard to rank because heavyweight MMA is chaotic. One punch changes everything. The skill level can be weird across eras. But Stipe is the exception because he actually built a heavyweight reign that felt like a real reign. He's got the title defense history, he has the big wins, and he has the best heavyweight of the modern UFC case that a lot of people can't argue against. For me, Stipe's placement is basically respect for heavyweight greatness without pretending heavyweight should dominate the top 5. He's not here because of hype. He's here because he proved it, fought real killers, and left a legitimate mark on the division. Now number 11. At number 11, I'm putting Daniel Cormier. DC is one of those guys where if you really understand MMA, you respect him automatically. High-level wrestling, elite striking for the style, smart game plans, championship mentality, two-division champion. The fact that DC even existed in the same era as Jon Jones and Stipe is crazy because it's like his whole legacy is lost to the other GOATs, which sounds like a diss until you realize what it means. It means the only guys beating him were the guys that define entire eras. DC isn't number 1, but if you're making an all-time list and DC isn't on it, I don't know what you're watching. Now we enter the top 10. This is where I think the list starts to feel heavy. At number 10, I've got Khabib Nurmagomedov. And I'm going to say this clearly so nobody twists it. Khabib is one of the most dominant fighters we've ever seen. He might be the most dominant lightweight champion in terms of how helpless he made elite guys look. But GOAT lists are about total legacy. And Khabib's UFC championship run, while legendary, was short compared to the defense monsters. That's just reality. He's top 10 because when you talk about fear, control, and dominance, he's a blueprint. He's top 10 because he changed how people looked at grappling pressure at the highest level. But he's not top 3 for me because the reign didn't last long enough. If he stayed in stacked defenses, we might be having a different conversation. Now number 9. At number 9, I've got Jose Aldo. And this one might surprise some newer fans because they remember Aldo at the end. But Aldo's legacy is insane. Featherweight dominance, title reign, the way he defended against so many different styles. Aldo is one of the clearest examples of a champion who fought everybody. No cherry picking, no hiding, just work. And even when the sport evolved, Aldo didn't disappear. He stayed relevant across eras, which is extremely rare. When you have a guy whose prime started in one generation and he's still fighting elite names in the next, that's greatness. Now number 8. At number 8, I've got Joanna Jedrzejczyk. And if you think that's crazy, hear me out. We cannot keep doing this thing where women's MMA legends get treated like bonus content. Joanna's strawweight reign is one of the cleanest championship runs ever. Title defenses, skill gap, pace, toughness, and the way she fought like she was built for 5 rounds every single time. That era of Joanna wasn't just winning, it was mastery. Legacy is not only about how hard you hit, it's about how clear you were above the division at your peak. Joanna was clearly above the division for a long time. She belongs here. Now number 7. At number 7, I've got Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina is another one where the run speaks for itself. Long title reign, defenses, elite skill, and a style that made most challengers look like they were solving a math problem during a fist fight. Even when she had setbacks, she proved she could bounce back and still be elite. That matters. When you're building a GOAT list, you're looking for fighters who made excellence look normal. Valentina did that. Now number 6. At number 6, I've got Amanda Nunes. And this is simple. Amanda Nunes is the greatest women's fighter in UFC history. 2-division champion, huge wins, and the most important part, she beat the best. When you look at who she fought, who she finished, and the moments she created, it's one of the strongest resumes in the company's history, period. Not women's history, company history. Now we enter the top 5, and this is where people start losing their minds. At number 5, I've got Alexander Volkanovski. And yes, I know Volk took some tough losses, but I'm not going to pretend the featherweight run didn't happen. The reign, the defenses, the way he beat elite contenders, the way he handled different styles, and the fact that he fought in an era where talent was stacked, Volk's greatness is real. Also, I value fighters who test themselves. Volk didn't didn't play it safe. He took risks. He fought the best. He moved up. He didn't protect the record. That matters to me when we talk about legacy. Now, number 4. At number 4, I've got Demetrius Johnson. And if you're one of those people who jokes about flyweight, I get it. The division gets disrespected. But DJ's run is the definition of championship excellence. Title defenses, skill, creativity, consistency. He was doing things in fights that looked like video game combos. And the fact he stayed champion that long in MMA, where anything can go wrong, is ridiculous. When I think of complete MMA, DJ is one of the first names that comes to mind. That's why he's top 4. Now, number 3. At number 3, I've got Anderson Silva. Wait, no, I'm kidding. Don't throw away your phone. At number 3, I've got Jon Jones. And look, I know this is where it gets messy. Jon Jones has the strongest argument for number 1 if you only look at title fight wins and the names on the resume. He beat the champions. He beat legends. He was younger than everyone and still outclassed them. His prime was like watching a cheat code. But GOAT lists are also about the baggage. It's about the controversies, the suspensions, the weird years, and the fact that the story isn't clean. So for me, Jon Jones is in the top 3 because the greatness is undeniable, but the legacy isn't perfect. If you have Jones at 1, I'm not going to call you crazy. I'm just saying, for me, in 2025, he's number 3. Now, number 2. At number 2, I've got Georges St Pierre. GSP is the cleanest GOAT case in UFC history. The resume is stacked, the title defenses are stacked, the adjustments were legendary, and the way he controlled fights was elite. He wasn't just talented, he was smart. He could out-wrestle the wrestlers, outstrike the strikers, and he did it with discipline. And the other thing with GSP is he didn't just beat guys once and run. When he lost, he came back and corrected it. He closed storylines. He didn't leave what-ifs all over his career. That's why he's number 2. And now, number 1. This is the part of the video where half of you are going to pause, take a deep breath, and prepare to type. At number 1, for my 2025 update, I've got Islam Makhachev. And I need you to hear me. I'm not saying Islam is the most famous. I'm not saying he's the most flashy. I'm saying that when we look at 2025, when we look at what he's done, who he's fought, and how he's won, he has built a modern GOAT case in real time. This year mattered. The sport shifted this year. The reason I'm calling this a 2025 update is because this is when the he's great conversation became he's all time and then jumped to he might be the guy. Islam isn't just beating contenders, he's beating champions and top-level threats with control. He's not just squeaking by, he's making world-class fighters look like they're behind the pace. And in a sport where styles make fights, he has become the style that breaks styles. Now, I already know the pushback, but what about Jon Jones? But what about GSP? But what about the old eras? And my answer is this. GOAT lists are always part history and part timing. And right now, Islam is stacking modern-era greatness in a way that forces the list to move. This is not a Lifetime Achievement Award for being popular in 2010. This is a UFC GOAT list in 2025, and Islam has earned the number 1 spot in my eyes based on the full picture of dominance, title success, and the level of competition in this era. And listen, if Islam loses next year, the list changes. That's how it works. But right now, today, the end of 2025, I'm standing on it. Islam Makhachev is my number 1. Now here's what I want from you. I want you to drop your top 15 in the comments. Not just your list is trash, drop your actual list. I want names, I want to order, I want to see what your top 5 looks like, because that's where your MMA soul really shows. That's where you reveal if you value longevity, peak, skill, dominance, or resume. And if you want me to do a separate video ranking every pay-per-view this year, or you want a follow-up where I react to your lists and the hottest takes, tell me right now, because if you guys want that, I'll do it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to AU Beyond MMA, and I'll catch you in the next one.